All right, it's time for the Almost Willie Show. Man, it's been a beautiful day.
Yes, it is.
Can't beat this. Willie probably ain't having this much fun. I'm Almost Willie from Kansas City. It's good to be here in Indiana. I've shook up Elwood. Thank you, thank you. I'm having a bad hair day, though. I got some little stragglies hanging out here. I'm going to start tickling my nose. It's going to be bad news then. Yeah, I'm the one that don't owe any taxes. And they call me the Skinny Willie, too. Willie got about 20 pounds on me and $20 million. And he wished he had my body, and I wish I had his money. We'd both be happy. Let me start off with something slow and easy here. Try to get in the Willie mode today. Well, I grew up a-dreaming, being a cowboy, loving the cowboy ways, pursuing the life of my high-riding heroes, burned of my childhood days, learned all the rules of a modern-day drifter. Don't you hold on to nothing too long. Just take what you need from the ladies and leave them with the words of a sad country song. My heroes have always been cowboys, and they still are, it seems, sadly in search of one step in back of themselves and a slow-moving dream. Well, cowboys are special with their own brand of misery from being alone too long, to die in the night in the arms of a nightmare, knowing well that their best days are gone. Picking up strangers instead of my pen, I let the words of my youth fade away. Old worn-out saddles and old worn-out memories with no one and no place to stay. My heroes have always been cowboys, and they still are, it seems, sadly in search of one step in back of themselves and a slow-moving dream. Sadly in search of one step in back of themselves and a slow-moving dream. All right, heroes have always been cowboys. Oh, we got a good crowd here today. It might not be 40,000 like Willie, but we got good people here. There's some great people here in Indiana. You know that song, My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys? That's from Willie's movie way back, Electric Horseman, with Robert Redford, you know, and Jane Fonda. But it reminds me of a gig I did in Oklahoma City back in '95. They have this day they call Red Earth Day. And about 15,000 Indians come into Oklahoma City, and they all dress up and dance around, you know. I had a booth there that day. I was the only cowboy there, so I made friends with them real quick. And that night, I had a gig in Oklahoma City at a tavern there. And about 20 of them come over to see my show that night. And they had these T-shirts made up that day. It was black T-shirts, and on the back it said, "My heroes have always killed cowboys." Guess we had that one coming, didn't we? Willie's first #1 million seller. He came out with this in 1975. Most of you wasn't even born then, right? Yeah, right. After this one, he was known as a singer, not just a writer. In the twilight glow, I see her, blue eyes crying in the rain. ever meet again. Someday when we meet up yonder, we'll stroll hand in hand again. In a land that knows no parting, blue eyes crying in the rain. I wrote a verse of this song back in 1990. Willie don't ever do it, so I'm going to do it for you folks here in what's the name of this town? Almost Elwood, right? My verse goes like this. If you think you see Willie Nelson, I'm afraid you've made a big mistake. 'Cause I'm not Willie, I'm just almost. He's the real thing, I'm a fake. That's my version of Blue Eyes. You see why I quit writing songs now, don't you? Yeah. You know, you see my bus over there, my tour bus, that's my new one. I call it my almost Prevost. Inez, you sang along with that last one, wouldn't you? Yeah. You know a little Willie stuff, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And you're Rick's mama?
Oh, yeah.
And you tell everybody, huh?
Oh, yeah.
He's a good old boy. I got about $50 worth of electricity out of him this week. We travel around all over the country. I go down to South Texas in the wintertime, November, December. And then I head out to Arizona. I do January, February, a little bit of March out there. And when I come back up, I was coming back up this year, it was in 1st of May. And I found out, I was going through Fort Worth. I found out there was a Willie Nelson look-alike contest down at the stockyards. So I go down there, it's on Saturday night, and I signed up for it. There's about 10 of us, Willies, walking around the dance floor getting judged. Willie was playing Billy Bob's that night, it's just about a block away. He got free, he come down and got in the contest, he come in 2nd place. And I look more like Willie than he does. He's looking old. Well, there's only 2 things in life that make it worth living. At the guitar's too good, firm feeling women. I don't need my name in the marquee lights, but I've got my song, got you with me tonight. Baby, it's time we got back to the basics of love. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas, with Willie and Whelan and the boys. This successful life we're living, it's got us feuding like the Hatfields and McCoys. Between Hank Williams' pain songs, Newberry's train songs, and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, with Willie and Whelan and boys. This successful life we're living, it's got us feuding like the Hatfields and McCoys. Between Hank Williams' pain songs, Newberry's train songs, and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. Living on the road, my friend, gonna keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, breath as hard as kerosene. Weren't your mama's only boy the favorite one, it seemed? She began to cry when you said goodbye and sank into her dream. Poncho, he don't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Poncho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid old Poncho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. Ain't nobody knows. All the federalists say they could have had him any day. That won't let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Poncho was a bandit boy. His horse was fast as polished steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Poncho met his match, you know, on a desert down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying words, but that's the way it goes. All the federalists say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. A little Poncho and Lefty there for you. Oh, thank you very much. Boy, it's nice out here. I could do this all afternoon, but I won't. You know, when we go down to South Texas and Arizona, you know, Mexico's right across the border. So it's a fun place to go shopping and go partying and have margarita and stuff. I've been going down there for 12 years, so I've been going to Mexico quite a bit. I've been going so much, I've been learning Spanish. Yeah, that's true. Let me try some Spanish on you folks. Listen up. Buenos dias. Buenas noches. Choo-choo. Well, you don't know what choo-choo means, Inez? Let me use it in a sentence for you. You mess with my Chevy, I choo-choo. Never heard that, did you, Inez? You didn't know all that South Texas Spanish when you go down there. Here's another one that, you have the old 40 before you know this one. Anybody here old 40? No. No, there never is. I played to the youngest crowd. Oh, Inez, you're 41, 42. She's a railroad lady, just a little bit shady, spending her days on the train. Once a Pullman car traveler, now the switchman won't have her. She's trying, just trying to get home again. South Station in Boston, to the stockyards of Austin, the Florida sunshine, to the New Orleans rain. Now that the rail packs have taken the best tracks, she's trying, just trying to get home again. She's a railroad lady, just a little bit shady, spending her days on the train. Once a semi-good looker, but the fast rails, they took her. Now she trying, just trying to get home again. Once a highballing loner thought he could own her. He bought her a fur coat and a big diamond ring. But she hocked him for cold cash in a town on the Wabash. Never thinking of home way back then. She's a railroad lady, just a little bit shady, spending her days on the train. Once a Pullman car traveler, now the switchman won't have her. She trying, just trying to get home again. Now the rails are all rusty and the dining car's dusty. The gold-plated watches have taken their toll. Now the railroads are dying and the lady is crying on a bus to Kentucky and home, that's her goal. She's a railroad lady, just a little bit shady, spending her days on the train. Once a Pullman car traveler, now the switchman won't have her. She's trying, just trying to get home again. On a bus to Kentucky and home, that's her goal. All right, here we go. I had a good time in Elwood. First day I come here, now Doyle got it all orchestrated, you know. Doyle Davis. He called the mayor. Got this little girl right back here to get in a cop car, come escort me in town. Yeah, I had a police escort coming down right down the road. Everybody's pulling off. It's like a funeral.
They were too.
Lucky we didn't get in trouble. We made it. She probably thought, oh, that Doyle Davis, he's going to get us in big time trouble. Wouldn't be nothing new. I got to tell you a story about this blonde-headed state trooper. She reminds me. Blonde-headed state trooper's out on the interstate one day patrolling. She stopped this other blonde for speeding. She said, "Can I see your driver's license?" So that blonde, she's looking through her billfold, looking for her license. She said, "What do they look like?" The trooper said, "Oh, a little card about like this. It's got your picture on it." So she's looking through. Finally, she finds a flat mirror. She looks at it and says, "Oh, this must be it." She hands it to the trooper. The trooper looks at it and says, "Oh, if I knew you were a cop, I wouldn't have stopped you." Is there any blondes here? Real blondes, I mean. I got this one other blonde joke, and this will be the last one, I swear. It's two blondes were sitting behind us in McDonald's the other day eating. This one blonde, she kept staring at something for about 15 minutes, kept staring. This other blonde says, "What are you staring at?" She said, "Look at that dog with one eye." She said, "Oh, where?" Yeah. That's too good. Here's a song that Willie came out with in 1989. I thought it was going to be a #1 hit, so I learned it real quick. But it didn't get there. It went to about number 70 and downhill from there. But it's a good song. I do it anyway. I've got a long list of real good reasons for all the things I've done. Got a picture in the back of my mind of what I've lost, what I've won. I've survived every situation, knowing when to freeze, when to run. Regret is just a memory written on my brow, and there's nothing I can do about it now. I've got a wild and a restless spirit, held my price through every deal. Seen the fire of a woman's scorn turn her heart of gold to steel. I've got a song of a voice inside me set to the rhythm of a wheel. Been dreaming like a child since the cradle broke the bow, and there's nothing I can do about it now. Going through the changes, going through the stages, running around the corners in my life. Leaving out the fate, staying out too late, waiting for the moon to say goodnight. Well, I could cry for the time I've wasted. That's a waste of time and tears. I know just what I'd change if I went back in time somehow, but there's nothing I can do about it now. Going through the changes, going through the stages, running around the corners in my life. Leaving out the fate, staying out too late, waiting for the moon to say goodnight. Well, I could cry for the time I've wasted. That's a waste of time and tears. Well, I know just what I'd change if I went back in time somehow, but there's nothing I can't do about it now. Forgiving everything that forgiveness will allow, and there's nothing I can't do about it now. Nothing I can do about it. You know, I did a month up in Minnesota right before I come here to Indiana. And we was coming down interstate, going to Des Moines, down out of Minnesota. We went through Iowa. And we stopped about 50, 60 miles before we got to Des Moines, spend the night. And when I got up the next morning, I got turned around the wrong road. I didn't get on the interstate. I got on a farm road. I went down about 3 miles. There's corn growing 10 foot high on both sides of the highway. I'm looking for some place to turn around or ask somebody. Finally, I saw this old boy mowing a ditch with a bush hog. And I knew he was a good old boy. He had on bib overalls and a John Deere hat and no T-shirt. I knew he was a good old boy. I pulled over on his side, and I turned my bus off. He pulls up right beside me, and he turned his tractor off, looked up at me. I said, "Buddy, how do you get to Des Moines?" He says, "My uncle takes me." He was a good old boy. It wasn't kin to you, was he, Kenny? No. Yeah, when we're down south, you know, I don't get to see my kids for 6 months. I got 6 kids, 20 grandkids. Wow. Yeah, that's true. Wow. That's what I thought. But we come back up in May, and the first one I hit is in Missouri. All of them live in Missouri, but one of them lives about 100 miles south, my youngest daughter, and she owns a baker shop in Warsaw, Missouri. So I pull in there one morning, and we're sitting out front eating donuts and drinking coffee, and we're visiting. The lady from the nursing home saw my bus. She comes running down the street. She says, "Oh, Willie, will you do our nursing home this afternoon?" She said, "Well, they love you down there." I said, "Well, yeah, I could do that. I don't have to be back in Kansas City until tomorrow. Set it up for 2 o'clock. I'll be out there." So I gave her a picture, you know, with my story on the back. Says I was a funeral director, you know, county coroner. She couldn't wait to tell him. I got out there, and there's about 60 or 70 old folks out in front of me. I mean, these are old folks now. They're in nursing homes. Oxygen, wheelchairs, the whole works. And she couldn't wait to tell them what I did for a living, you know. She was introducing me. She said, "Who can tell me what Almost Willie done before he got into doing Willie Nelson impersonations?" It was quiet there for a minute. And then this old lady, about 90 years old in the back, she stood up and says, "Drugs." She thought she hit it on the head then. Looking like this, what do you expect? And I put on the show there, and there was this one lady right in front of my mic stand here. She was in a wheelchair, and she was all slumped over, head down. I was singing to her and talking to her, and I couldn't get her attention. So after the show, I went around, and finally I got her attention. She looked up. I said, "Ma'am, do you know who I am?" She says, "No, but if you go up there to the nurse's station, they'll tell you." Now you know what you got to look forward to. Oh, yeah. You know, everybody asks me about the hole in my guitar. See that extra hole down there? Just like Willie's. But we got it there a little bit different. He opens every concert with this song, plays it about 10 minutes to get the crowd all riled up. And after beating up on an old Spanish Martin guitar like he's got, you get a hole in it in about 10 years. So I'm not going to do it for about 2 minutes because I don't want my hole getting any bigger. Whiskey River, take my mind. Don't let her memory torture me. Whiskey River, don't run dry. You're all I've got to take care of me. Whiskey River, take my mind. Don't let her memory torture me. Whiskey River, don't run dry. You're all of me. Well, I'm drowning in a whiskey river, bathing my memories mine in the wetness of a soul. Feeling the embers purring, flowing from my mind, and warm and empty heart you left so cold. Whiskey River, take my mind. Don't let her memory torture me. Whiskey River, don't run dry. You're all I've got to take care of me. Yeehaw! Yeah, that's how you got that hole in there. I got mine a little bit different there. But let me tell you how I got started first. Yeah, I was a funeral director in the county coroner for 14 years back in Illinois. I quit the funeral business and I started selling cars. It's the first time in my life that I could have a beard. You know, because funeral directors can't have no beards or long hair, you know. So I started growing this old scruffy beard. And by Halloween time, I had it grown. And I was at work one day. My wife called me up. Yeah, I had a wife too and 6 kids. And I still got 6 kids. She called me at work and said we was going to this Halloween costume party at this country bar. She said, why don't you paint your beard white, and I'll make you some braids and sew them on your bandana. You go as Willie Nelson. I said, oh, all right, I'll try that. I had to do everything she said anyway. Got home that night. Here's what she had laying out on the bed for me. Look at that. I see a couple Willies out there now. I could fix that. Well, I put those on, and I painted my beard white, which I don't have to anymore. And I went to the contest. I won first place. And I thought, man, I look so much like Willie, I better get me a guitar and learn how to pick a few Willie songs. I was just going to do it for fun, just for kicks. And, so I went down to the pawn shop, and I bought this guitar for $100. But it was nice and shiny, and had a pick guard on there, and it was almost new. I used it for 4 years, and the only complaint I ever got was, you can't be Willie. You ain't got no hole in your guitar. Well, I got tired of hearing that. So I got it down one morning in 1989. I jerked the pick guard off of there. I got my grinder out, and I ground a hole in there. And then I got my pocket knife out. I had a picture of Willie's to go by. I scraped it up the same size and same shape as Willie's. And then I scraped it up down here with a screwdriver and up here. And then over the years, I got a few bumps and bruises on it, a few signatures. Looks like it's 40 years old now, doesn't it? And the same morning, I sent it off the name up here at the top. It said Yamaha. And I wrote Martin in there. Every once in a while, an old guitar picker catch me. He'll say, Willie, what kind of guitar you got? I say, oh, it's an Almost Martin. Good enough for Almost Willie. Oh, when I was down in Nashville back in 1990, I was down there for fanfare, I met this old boy down there. He said I could do one of his songs if I didn't mess it up. I'm going to try it. I hear the train a-coming, rolling around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine, I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. I hear that lonesome whistle, I hang my head and cry. Well, when I was just a baby, Mama told me, son, always be a good boy and don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Well, I hear that lonesome whistle, I hang my head and cry. Well, there must be rich folks eating their fancy dining cars, probably drinking coffee, smoking big cigars. I know I had it coming, I know I can't be free. Well, I hear that lonesome whistle, that's what tortures me. Well, if they freed me from this prison, that railroad train was mine. Probably moving on a little farther down that line, for from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Oh, would Johnny be proud of me? Oh, I hope so. No, I do a little Ernest Tubb. Y'all know Ernest Tubb, don't you? Yeah. All right, listen up to this now. When we died together, worlds in the skies, fairy tale that's come true. And with your hand in mine, dear, that's on and on. I could waltz across Texas with you. Waltz across Texas, you in my arms. Waltz across Texas with you. Like a storybook ending, lost in your charms. I could waltz across Texas with you.